Good afternoon, President Akufo-Addo and my fellow citizens and not spectators of Ghana. Today you're celebrating Mother's Day. Some of us too are also saying fix the country. And I pledge to support fix the country. And I'd like to tell you why. President Akufo-Addo, in 1995, I did my year of return. I chose to Sankofa back to Ghana. Coming from the UK, where we had good roads, schools, medical care, great transport, I saw that, Ghana has great potential, but these things are missing. And so I spoke out against it. When Kufuor became president, Dumsor was there, so I spoke out against it. Corruption was there, I spoke out against it. For example, Returnee went to an HIV/AIDS conference and came back and impregnated somebody and was sending money from Ghana to that person. Another example, Eric Amwating, that's his name, right? He was jailed for cocaine in the USA, but his position was held for him in Ghana. So I spoke out against all these things. In fact, even Ghana at 50, I spoke out and lost my job with Mnet. Then Mills came and Mahama came. There was still Dumsor, there was still corruption, there was bus branding, there was Victoria $1 million hammer, there was Brazil World Cup. I spoke against those things. I didn't lose a job this time, but I spoke against it regardless. In fact, I went even further. I campaigned for change. President Akufo-Addo, I joined your team for change because I'd spoken during Kufuor's era, I'd spoken during Mahama's era, and I went further and campaigned for change. Now, after campaigning for change, I was honored and given the privilege to serve my country. Unfortunately, I had to leave because I wasn't given a chance to work for change. So today I'm saying fix the country. It's not against you personally. It's something I've been saying since 1995. So why is all of a sudden when Black Office says what she's been saying since 1995 is against NPP because she resigned? President Akufo-Addo, really? You yourself were for change, which is why you had your first campaign. So if people have been for change for all these years, why is it today against you? I'm for change and I have been for change since 1995. I've spoken against corruption since 1995. So why is it under this NPP government, it's me saying what I've always said is a problem, where today I get threats in my life and I have to leave my Sankofa? You're telling people, return home, come home, and one of your own appointees has been forced to leave home for saying, hey, fix the country. Really? Okay. Now, some people also saying, fix yourself. That is the solution. Fix yourself. President Akufo-Addo, I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you about how I fix myself. Now, before I go any further, let me make something very clear. In all my 25 years of saying fix the country, I have never attacked people on personality. I don't do that. I knew President Mahama. After I joined the NPP, I could have lied and said anything about him. You guys would have believed me because I knew him. I knew your wife, Auntie Becky, the beautiful Rebecca. You're beautiful, Rebecca. I knew Auntie Becky. I still love that woman to bits. After I resigned, people wanted me to say things. And because he came from Black Coffee, who was close to her, they would have believed it. But I never got personal. Go and check all my posts. Go and check anything. I never get personal. I always stick to the issue of Ghana must work for us all. There's corruption. I never get personal. Mr. President, who was the first person to resign from GTDC? Who was the first person to walk out of GTDC? And why did they walk out? You know why I didn't put that in public domain in 2016? Because I didn't want the press to go after that person. Because you know, if the person after that person, that would be a different story. So I took all the heat. Although we all knew I was telling the truth. So anyway, you say, fix yourself. Fine, Mr. President. So I came from the UK. I'm not perfect. Let's start. I'm not perfect. I'm impatient. You know, I'm not perfect. We're not talking about my problems here, but I'm not perfect. But we're talking about Ghana's problems, so let's stick to the issue. So yes, I'm not perfect, but I'm ethical. I'm honest. I'm passionate. And you can't work with me and be corrupt. If a project is 6 cities, 6 cities is what I budget for. People know me. All my years on TV, I challenge anybody. Tiny, Samini, Reggie Rocks. I challenge them to say Black Coffee has taken Payola to put us on any show or something. It's not my style. I'm honest. That's it. So, being an honest person, I was appointed to the tourism and I was happy. I was privileged because for 25 years, I'd been saying return home. Oh yes, I'd been saying that. I'd been saying return home. I'd been saying love your culture. I'd been saying love your country. I'd been doing tours. So if I'd been doing all these things on my own and now I was appointed to do it officially, isn't that a privilege and an honor to serve your country? So I was fixed. I wasn't corrupt. I didn't take bribes. I was fixed to work for the country. But the people I was working with were not fixed to work for the country. And so I came out and said, hey, they're just traveling. They're just traveling, Mr. President. Let me have a cup of tea. This is England. We always drink our tea. So, Mr. President, they're just traveling. Now, if you were fixed, and today I'm going to do something I've never done. I'm going to attack you personally. Please allow me, with all due respect, because it's important. If you, Mr. President, were fixed, what you'd have done was call me, call Kojo Adami Entry, the CEO of GTDC, and Captain Africa, and say, hey, this person is saying you're traveling and not working. Let me see your passports. And you'd have seen with your own eyes that they were gone for 2 to 3 weeks every single month. Why should I lie? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, Dubai, South Africa, and France were just enjoying, claiming they were working for Ghana. Well, where's the results on the ground? Were they working? So you could have called and seen their passport and then said, okay, show me your passport and show me your workload. And I've seen that I had nothing to do. I went there ready to work, but I had nothing to do. So I'll go to work and I just see the thing, what should I do today? Oh, let me go on Facebook. So I'll go on Facebook. What should I do next? Really? After 2 months, I'm ready to work out. But it was like, oh, black coffee, if you go, people say black coffee is controversial. That's what certain people were telling me. So I kept it quiet. But I was telling people, and you know, Mr. President, you know I was telling certain people what was going on. But I wasn't getting the support I needed to work. So I had to leave, because for me, when I campaigned for change, I wanted to change what Muhammad did, wanted to change what Kufuor did. I didn't just want to change party keke. I wanted to change the system. So, Mr. President, you see, my point is, if you had been fixed, then Africa that he put in tourism would not have been traveling keke, because she knows that the head is fixed. But because the head is not fixed, people can do anything, that will happen to them. Let me give you another example. I have my home in Ghana. Now, somebody I rented the home to decided to cut all my trees. Long story, the short version is, after 3 years of trying to get a person's app, because he sublet my home as an office to a Ugandan company. So after 3 years of going to court and police, in fact, he had me arrested by CID that I was a fraud. I told CID everything. I showed CID a contract. Still, they said I was a fraud because the guy was bribing them. Yes, let's call a spade a spade. So from CID, he took me to this place and different police stations. We went to court, he went to rent control, we went here. No matter what, this guy said he wouldn't leave my home, and still I wasn't getting the results I want. So after 3 years of somebody having taken my home and turned it to an office which is sublet and not paying me rent, I changed the locks on my door. Guess what happened, Mr. President? Kotobabi police locked me in their cells. Mr. President, 3 years. Somebody has taken my home, sublet as an office, doesn't pay me rent. He's taking me to every court, district court, circuit court, we've been to court. The court clerk at the circuit court, Mr. Ajigoro, I can never get his name, Mr. Ajigoro, whatever his name was. If I see him, I'll show you him. He asked me to bring a big envelope, bring an envelope for him and a bigger envelope for the judge. And I said, hey, don't you know me, Black Coffee? I'm against corruption. Oh, sorry, Black Coffee. But from that time, they decided to frustrate me. So because I wouldn't bribe, my court case was delayed. Papers will go missing. I'll keep getting different dates. I had fixed myself. So what was I to do about that? Pay bribe? I had fixed myself. Kotobabi police station threw me in their cells, Mr. President. But I had fixed myself. But the reason they could do that is because the head of police is not fixed. The head of police is not fixed because the president is not fixed. With all due respect, Mr. President, if the top is not fixed, then nothing else will be fixed. It's a domino effect. Mr. President, until you are known to be firm on corruption, nothing will work. Appointees in Rwanda and Tanzania are not corrupt because of the personality of Kagame and Magufuli. If you are corrupt, you are sacked. Do you think in Rwanda or Tanzania, I will be thrown in cells after 3 years of trying to take my own home back? Does that even make sense? I didn't get violent. I just changed the locks. Meanwhile, the tenant was coming to the property, and I went there with police and guns. Police and guns were coming to my home that somebody tried to take from me because I wasn't corrupt and I wouldn't bribe. And you say we should fix ourselves? I'm fixed. I'm not perfect, but I'm fixed enough to have served my motherland in an honest capacity to bring results. But that's not what you want. That's not what you want, because you never even try to look for me and say, what is the problem here? You automatically took the side of the corrupt people who are still at post. So all due respect, Mr. President, don't tell us to fix ourselves, because some of us are fixed and we're ready to fight for Ghana. But you didn't want those people around you, Mr. President. I don't like to attack people's personalities. I never have. And please forgive me for going down that path today. But this had to be done. After 25 years of working to build a career, I'm back in the UK. Not by choice, but because I wanted the system to be fixed. And my punishment is threats on my life. My punishment is media have been told to discredit me. Oh yes. Luckily for me, 1 or 2 liked me and came and told me Black Coffee, this is it. But us, we won't do it. Discredit me for what? For saying fix the country. Mr. President, please. Some of us have loved Ghana for a long time. If we're saying fix the country today, it's not because we hate you. It's something we have always said. I'll always say it. I don't care who is president. Ghana first. Fix the country. I am Black Coffee.